With so much of digitalization today and social networking, children and parents are so divided.
Yes.
How do we overcome this challenge?
It's a big issue that we face today because now we have a seminar on digital parenting because this is a reality. And, parenting seminar, when we ask a question on what are the 5 major influences on your children, the first thing most of them would say is media, you know, and that's a big concern. Of course, we end up saying, hey, as parents, you have to be influencing, more than media. So I would say to kind of streamline the use of digital gadgets at home, there should be some guideline in every home, on the use of technology. How am I going to use this gadget? So even when I gift a gadget to my children, there are conditions. I mean, I'm saying this because I had to do this with all my kids, and age appropriately. We decided at a certain age only we will give our mobile phones or whatever. And
Can you explain that age?
yeah. I mean,
Because parents are very confused.
Yes.
Because now they are studying online.
Online.
Correct.
So should I buy them a mobile phone and give it to them, or can they use my mobile phone until a certain age? So if you can just tell your practical.
I mean, I don't think there is a set rule like that, but I used this in my home. I mean, most of them, when they came to the 11th grade, is when they got a mobile, but that too with very clear instruction. And to the fact that if this is misused in any way, this will be taken away. And I had all the right to check what is happening in the mobile and all that. And it so happened when our youngest son, who is now in his 12th grade, he wanted a mobile and all that. So he was trying to negotiate with me on that. And so I was asking him why. But the second one already briefed him. See, Papa will ask you these things. And so you have to go ready with a set of... So
Little MOU.
He literally sat and wrote 20 conditions he will adhere to if a mobile is given to him. Okay, now, whether I've never even looked at it after that, but the point is, they also know there is some rule here. It's not that there is lawlessness. I can use it anytime, anywhere, whatever, no. But I have to remind. When sometime I see an overuse of it, there is a reminder there. So we need to talk about it. Talk about the guidelines that will apply in our home, number one. Number two, I think we should develop a theology of technology, because technology is everywhere. We need to develop a theology in the sense, is this honoring God? What I'm watching, is it honoring God? Is it honoring my body? Is it honoring, my parents? Is it honoring one another? The moment this is coming in the way of me honoring my parents, honoring God, then I have to really look into it deeply. So we need to develop a theology of technology in our home so that our mobiles, our laptops, our iPad, our whatever, doesn't come in the way of God being honored in our home.
I think just to add that one of our students in our MA program a few years ago did a research about the topmost use of a mobile phone down south in one of the places that he was, in one particular church. And as part of that research, as he studied it, he was shocked, and the pastor of the church also was shocked at what they said. Because it was anonymous, people could write very openly what they were using their cell phone for. And the topmost use of a cell phone among young couples today was for pornography. This is within a church. So that came as a huge shocker to the one who was doing the research as well as to the pastor of the church. So what are we using our gadgets for? Can I leave my phone openly for my husband to see what I'm browsing, for my children to open and see? Can I do that? Do they have the openness to just take my phone? My kids know my password. They can get into my phone. They can see what I've been messaging. They can see what I've been doing on my phone. Is there that openness in the home? Can a husband and wife take each other's gadgets and just view what we've been doing? Is there that freedom? I would say that would be something that we can ask within the context of the family so that we're accountable, because we need to encourage one another because the day is approaching, right? We need to spur one another on to be faithful to what God has. And if these gadgets are going to come in the way of my faithfulness, or my husband's faithfulness, then God is going to take that account from me. He says, why didn't you stop that? Did you know he was browsing sites which are not healthy, which are not good? Then why didn't you, tell him to not do that? So I think really, if you look at it overall, technology is good as long as it's used and limited in its use to what it's good for. But there's a lot of evil use today of technology. And as parents, if we need to be conversing with our children from a very young age, that there is misuse of technology, that there are intruders, there are digital, people who are preying upon our young children. I think a couple of years ago, we got this forward from a friend who was telling us that when a young child takes their iPad or their instrument, there is this app that has been developed where a lot of wrong stuff is being played on the instrument. But as soon as a parent's face comes from the back of this changes to a cartoon. And parents were taken aback at that because they couldn't understand how this was happening, because when they went back and viewed, there's some things that are not good that were being viewed. And that's when they realized that this is an app that has been created. It can recognize a parental face and it can block off the content that it is automatically pumping in. So I feel we as parents need to be aware. Don't just ignore learning about media. I think parents learn about all the things that are happening on media so that you can protect your children. Have conversations about it and let them share what they feel, and then put those healthy boundaries, because boundaries and fences are there to protect our children. And I would say digital boundaries extremely important for today's families.